Are you unhappy with your drawings because they're not looking organized? Like it seems like everything is all over the place? If that's the case, this might be the video for you. We're talking about composition. And today we're going to talk about one of the many ways we can compose a drawing or a painting or a photograph for that matter. Today we're going to talk about the steelyard composition. That is why I'm sitting here. Steelyard composition, you have a low horizon line, pretty much about 1/3 from the bottom up in your drawing, low horizon line. You have a big shape, and then you have one little shape on the other side. That is steelyard composition. So we're going to practice that today, and I want you to go around your house. I want you to go outside and see if you can find steelyard compositions. The more you do this, the easier it will become to you, and the better your drawings will become. They'll be more pleasant to look at. So, Senior Art Strokes, I'm Angel Mercado. Give me a like, subscribe, go to my channel, and look for more content. I have plenty more about composition, and there'll be more coming, and some other good videos and tips for beginners. So let's go on now to our exercise. And remember, just practice, walk around the house, outdoors, and see how many steelyard compositions you can find. Low horizon, one element. Big shape in one side, two, and the third element is small shape. And you'll have it. So good luck to you, practice, and I'll see you in 2 seconds. I'm from Chile, and I was in the countryside there one time, uh, walking, and I seen this beautiful view. There were some beautiful trees, and it was a nice summer day. And here comes this doggy, and the dog is kind of like looking back, and it made it the perfect, composition. So I thought, oh, this would be nice, something I could use for this. So that's what we're going to do. So I was walking in the countryside. This type of composition is called the steelyard composition. Steelyard has the horizon line low, okay, in the paper. Sorry about my voice, but I have some allergies, and my voice has changed. I think it hasn't been the same. So anyway, here we're just going to kind of like create a shape, sort of like the road, I was in like this, and like that there, and in that area, this is where I grew up, where my grandparents live. I have some great aunts, uncles, and aunts there. They still live there. It's beautiful. There are a lot of hills around, so I'm just going to put, some indications of hills in the background. And so right now I'm holding my pencil from the back. I want to have more freedom in my movement because I'm just playing with this, just creating an image, see how it's going to work. So I don't want to get too tight with my lines yet. So the best thing to do is just move your hand way back and draw. So here is going to be my mass of trees. They're going to sort of like go like this. And remember, here we're just mapping the composition, see the possibilities, what we want to create. So we think that this here might work good. Here there were some bushes in the foreground, and these trees, they were right sort of like behind it, like that. There. Yeah, I think this is going to work okay. Okay, so this is our intersection. Of course, the road is below here. So since this is a steelyard composition, we're going to create our very small
this is a big shape, as you can see. This covers a lot of the canvas or the paper. Okay, steelyard means low horizon, one big shape, and then you have a small shape. In this instance, this small shape is going to be our dog. And it's going to be right in here. And this dog was looking back, so we're going to make it kind of like looking back. Okay, sort of like that. There. Okay, so this is going to be our dog looking back there. And here, of course, since it's their heels, it was up like this, and there were some shrubs like this. Okay, so when I squint my eyes and I see this big mask here, it's going to be another one here. I think our dog is going to fit pretty nice right in this area. Okay, what it should be. So that is still here. It's a one big mass and one small mass. But now we're going to go further, of course, and we're going to start adding a little bit of tone. Here I'm going to use very light lines for the sky, for the background. Okay? We have talked about the foreground, the middle ground, and the background also in some of my other videos. So if you haven't seen them, you're more than welcome to go and visit those. There's some useful information there. So right here I have my dark tone, my lightest tone, okay? And some of that is going to be also on the road, like that. Okay, so there we go, we have the lightest tone. The mountain, we're going to see a little bit more of the mountain, of course. It's going to be darker than the flat ground. Okay, and from here, now we're going to start building our big shape. Okay, this big, beautiful tree. Ideal to be walking under this tree in the summer months. Refreshing in the mornings and really helps to cool off a little bit in the evenings. And of course, we have this masses of bushes surround this tree, and we'll redefine the road once again. Comes here like this, and this time I'm going to narrow this a little bit more.
Okay, so once we know the composition, we kind of like it, we cannot see it. Then I just like to go now with that little darker pencil and sort of like map it again. And this is the part where I'm just going to this is not the darkest pencil I have, but I like to start kind of light because, the tree is not going to be dark all over. It's going to have some lighter tone, so it's okay for me to spend a little bit of time doing this. This part of the background will be light. This area here trying to follow the contour of the land here. Okay. So now we'll move on to a darker pencil. That was done with the HB pencil. Now I'm going to move on to use the 2B pencil, a little bit darker this time. And I try to not to make a pattern. I'm just going in an angle, but not creating, trying to create patterns. So I move my pencil around. And you might not notice it, but what I'm doing every so often, I'm just turning the pencil a little bit to the left. And the reason I'm doing that is because I can cover a lot of area like this, and at the same time I'm trying to keep the tip of the pencil sharp. So by doing that, just turning it every so often is helping me do that. That way I don't have to go and start sharpening the pencil every time I need it, to make a darker line or more details. Okay, so here's my Jack Russell. My Jack Russell, this dog we have Jack Russell. Here's my doggy. So we have a big shape and we have this smaller shape. And of course here is going to be this shroud that's going to give some dimension to this whole thing. It's going to showcase our doggy a little bit better just by having this in there. Here we have the hill in the background, and we're also going to add a little more tone to the hill. So when I'm doing this, I'm always squinting my eyes just to see how my tones are, if they're working right or not. And as you can see, it's a very tight as far as tones. It's not like it doesn't go all over the places by being dark and light. Okay. Okay, so having that done now, I decide to start going for more detail here. So now we're going to start going darker. And I'm going to start, of course, we're showcasing this tree. So this here, we have to have a lot more contrast than we have with this back here because it's way back there. So this tree should look a lot darker. And here's where it really helps to squint your eyes. If you can squint your eyes, you are going to start seeing these shapes a lot better. So this time I'm going to go darker with it. Okay, so I fast forward a little bit, that way you won't get too bored watching me adding tone to the paper. So when we're up to this point now, the only thing we have left is just to add a little more attention to, of course, this doggy on this side of the scene. And this dog is kind of looking away from us, so you're going to see maybe it's looking for the owner, who knows what the dog is looking for. But definitely it's busy looking that way. And one thing that's very important, folks, is just clean your edges at the end. That way you look a lot nicer. Um, Chances are if you're going to keep a drawing, it's going to be matted, so most of this stuff is going to disappear here. You're not going to see it, but it's just always kind of nice just to clean, the plastic edge. And there we go, your steel yard composition.